Hey guys, in this video I have the RG-300 or the Retro Game 300. It's basically like an updated version of the Retro Mini but with a bigger 3-inch screen. It's basically the same size as the RetroFW, which I've reviewed before, and instead this runs Open Dingus so that you can add your own games as well as save states. The RetroFW, of course, had built-in Nintendo games, but there was no way to add any other ROMs. So let's quickly unbox this thing. So as usual, it comes with a manual, and here is a charging cable. So this time around, they're actually using USB-C, which is very interesting because most of the time you'll find a mini or micro. And this one is the TV out cable. It plugs into the headphone jack there, so you can use it for headphones or displaying on your TV as long as you have AV input. Here it is. It's actually a very good size. I quite like it. It's bigger than the other portables you can see in the background, but it feels very well made. This is the micro USB port, and it does include one 32 gigabytes. Here's the on-off switch. And these are your left and right triggers, which is really nice to have. They feel pretty good, and I quite like it. And here you'll find the battery, and I'm just gonna open this here, show you what kind of battery it comes with. So it's using a BP5L, not the BL5C anymore, and it is of course a single cell with 1800 milliamp hours. And on this side you have the volume control right there. And on the bottom, you will see the USB-C connector for charging, as well as the headphone jack and or TV out. And of course, we're back to the other side. And this is the unit. The buttons are really nice. They feel, they almost feel like Xbox controller buttons. Here's the start and select. And here are some other buttons which are for the menu and stuff. And there's the D-pad, which I quite like because it's very much like the Nintendo. And here it is next to a BitBoy version 2. So the BitBoy has a 2.4-inch screen, and this one has the 3-inch screen, so it's a lot bigger. And here it is beside the RetroFW. Very similar in size and shape and everything. I quite like the form factor of the RetroFW, but unfortunately, it was basically just Nintendo games, and you couldn't add any or use save states. So with this unit, it is actually very good. Because of that, it runs Open Dingus, and here it is booting up right now. Surprisingly, it boots up pretty quick, and you'll see it at the menu screen in a few seconds. So here it is. And the interface is like any of the other Open Dingus handheld consoles. It already has a bunch of emulators and applications built in it already. So you basically move through the menu with these left and right buttons, the left and right triggers. I'll quickly go through the menu here to show you what is included. So these are the emulators that are included. Your typical Nintendo, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, etc. So, and the next one here, it seems like they are arcade, CPS1, CPS2, we got Master System, Neo Geo, MSX. Now there are no Neo Geo games here. The ROMs aren't included, but you can add your own. And over here you'll find a lot of like applications like open source games, I guess. There's Quake, there's Doom, and these are the media player and the notepad editor. And here you'll find the settings for changing the skin and everything. So before we get into some game demos, I'm just going to quickly run through some of these specifications since I didn't do it earlier. So it does come with a 3-inch LCD display running at 360 by 400 resolution. It has the JZ4760B dual-core processor running at 528 megahertz. It has 128 megabytes of DDR2 memory, and internally it has 16 gigabytes of storage with, of course, the micro SD card slot for adding more storage. And the battery is 1800 milliamp hours, and the estimated playtime is about 6 hours. And of course, you can charge this thing with USB Type C, which is awesome because most of my phones and everything are USB Type C now, and I hate bringing another cable with me. So here is Double Dragon for the NES, and these type of systems run 8-bit games pretty well, so there's really not a lot to say. I mean, the performance is pretty good. I haven't seen it drop any frames or like that, so when you're playing 8-bit games, this works really well. And here is Sonic Advance for the GBA or Game Boy Advance. Again, it runs really well. It's pretty much on par with the other systems like the LDK or the RS-97. So not a problem with Game Boy Advance games at all. And when you're done to get out of the game, just hit the center button there and it'll bring up the menu. Here is Contra for the NES. It also runs CPS2 games really well. This is Armored Warriors on the CPS2 arcade system, and I have no issues with this type of game as well. One of my favorite are arcade games, one of those beat 'em up kind of games, like if you like Double Dragon or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here's Street Fighter 2 Alpha 3, and the performance is really good as well, especially for CPS 1, CPS 2. It will do Neo Geo games as well, but unfortunately, there are no Neo Geo ROMs that are included with the micro SD card, so you're going to have to get your own. And that is about it in terms of. Now I'm going to try the Final Burn Alpha emulator, and I'm going to play Super Gem Fighter or Super Puzzle Fighter, and one of my favorite fighting arcade games. And you hit the select button to insert the coins, and we'll quickly get into a game here and show you what it's like. So yeah, back to the main menu, hit that center button there, and you will be brought back. Hit B to get back to the selection screen. There are a ton of these types of portables coming out now that run Open Dingus, and they come in several form factors. But this is probably one of my favorites because it's got a bigger screen and it feels really solid, and it feels like it's really well made. It's bigger than the BitBoy V2 or the LDK in terms of screen size and physical dimensions, and I find it much easier to hold. So if you like the Game Boy Color or the original DMG Game Boy, that kind of chunky size to it, I think it's a really nice kind of form factor. The BitBoy V2 screen size I felt was a bit too small for my liking, but the larger 3.0 screen on the RG-300 is definitely a nice upgrade. I think if you want it any bigger, I'd look at maybe a modded 2DS XL, PSP, or Vita, or even a GPD XD for running emulators. But overall, the RG-300 is a really good portable, and I think I'll be using it more than the other ones. Right, it has USB-C, like I mentioned. It's got a micro SD card slot. It runs Open Dingus, so it's pretty much like the perfect one for me, anyways, until the next one comes out. So this is highly recommended, especially if you are a collector of these kind of like weird kind of portable gaming systems. Anyways, that's it for this review. I hope you like it, and I will see you in the next video.